Guys, the government of America has now officially confirmed that aliens exist. And they even released like this new disclosure trailer from the government that they're going to be disclosing something that's absolutely wild. And this right here is the trailer.
The American
Look at this
people
stuff. It's
are ready
wild.
to receive the truth.
It's finally happening.
Humanity is not the only intelligence in the universe.
Humanity is not the only intelligent species.
We are absolutely not alone.
That's what I've been saying, guys. It seems like the government is getting ready for the Project Blue Beam. None of this stuff is real. They have already planned all of this stuff out, and it seems like they are now coming out officially. And they even made this crazy-ass trailer, for fuck's sake.
Human intelligence exists.
UAPs are real, they're here, and they're not human. I spent 25 years.
That was pretty direct. That was pretty direct. That was right on point, but they haven't really said if that's aliens or if that's the angels that most of us Christians believe.
Years as a senior official with the CIA.
I worked on highly classified UAP programs.
28 years as an astrophysicist.
I served as the 4th Director of National Intelligence.
Director of Aviation Security in the National Security Council.
A one-star admiral after 32 years of service.
People that come forward with this.
So basically, as we know, it seems like they are people that we can actually trust because these are the guys from CIA as well as the space research team and UFO retrieval programs and all that stuff. You know, they have officially worked on these things, and it seems like they are now going to be doing a massive exposure of what we call as the alien disclosure. And just a few hours ago, Donald Trump's press secretary actually came out and she gave this official statement.
And before I turn to questions, I do have news directly from the President of the United States that was just shared with me in the Oval Office. From President Trump directly, an update on the New Jersey drones. After research and study,
Finally,
the drones that were flying over New Jersey in large numbers were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons.
she's not really giving the reasons. The only thing that she says is that it's for research and for a few other reasons. Now, a lot of people have already exposed this stuff and they've said that they have technologies that are from the aliens that are not really revealed to the world, and apparently they're just testing all of those things out. They're recreating those things and trying to see if they can actually get these technologies working.
Many of these drones were also hobbyist, recreational, and private individuals that enjoy flying drones. In meantime, in time, it got worse due to curiosity. This was not the enemy.
So she basically says that it was not the enemy, it was themselves. You know, that's something that, you know, a lot of people are not really buying as of now, because right after the drones, the mysterious fog showed up, because obviously, you know, a lot of people were concerned about the fog that showed up was not really natural. And the government, nobody actually spoke about that stuff, man. I mean, the news and television, the media, nobody was covering about this fog. And why was such a massive news never covered? And it was all over Twitter, it was all over social media, people just posting these stuff, but it was never really covered by the media at all. And neither did the government give us any official explanation as to what that fog really is. Now, the recent Joe Rogan podcast, which happened with Jason Schranz, who's an official that worked in the United States military, and he was also in charge of this UFO retrieval program where he was working with the spacecraft, where he was working with the space and research team, and apparently he met an alien face to face, and he even spoke to this alien, and there is some absolutely interesting things that he has to say. Just take a look at this stuff.
Looks like he's wearing a uniform like we are. He got battle dress uniform on. So he sees us and he starts.
So this is apparently how the dude was basically looking. I mean, obviously this is not like the real image because they don't have the image of the alien, but as far as what he's describing, it seems like there was a man that worked in their military, but then he was not really a man. It was an alien that was disguised as a man, and he got to notice it first.
It looks like he's running, and he's got this really weird run, like his arms are kind of flailing behind him. It's like he was running against the hurricane wind, and it was like he was going to fall over at any time. And I was like, yeah, it's a bit windy today, but it ain't that bad. So it looked really strange.
You mean like the Naruto run? That's kind of crazy, right? Like, imagine the aliens are inspired from the shinobis in Naruto. That would be hilarious, honestly.
The skin tone would look like he might be hypothermic. And I'm thinking, oh crap, this dude's been out here. It's freaking freezing out here. Because it was a very cold day, and the wind was blowing. It was, you know, those cold days where it didn't matter how many layers you had on. And so as we're getting closer, I'm talking to the ranking guy. Hey, we need to slow down. So anyway, I'm thinking this guy's probably in big trouble. I need to pull off my jacket. I need to give him something to get warm.
And at this point, it seems like he never knew that whoever this dude was that was working as one of the soldiers is actually an alien. That's the
Real
funny
quick,
part.
So I'm starting to do that, and we're approaching. And by the time I get my jacket most of the way off, he's right there at the corner of the front of the car. And
So he looks pale? Is that what you're saying?
He looked like an albino with a very bluish kind of undertone. If you could imagine...
Albino with the bluish undertone. So according to him, it seems like this is probably how the dude basically looked. Extremely pale, and his eyes were blue. But then he says that the skin tone was not really pale, right? It was more bluish skin tone, but at the same time it was more whitish blue. Probably you can call it as gray skin, or, probably like this one right over here. This is probably the color that he noticed.
So you're assuming you're immediately associating that with he's freezing.
Yeah, because that's all I could equate it to.
Right.
And then as I'm starting to open my door, try to administer aid to this guy, the dude in the front passenger seat screams he's got no ears.
Wait, no ears?
I thought that was pretty rude, because I was like, the guy's in trouble.
Does he have a hat on? He's
got a hat on, and he's got BDUs that look absolutely clean, pristine. And when you're uprange, you do not wear your.
I mean, what do you mean he doesn't have
You're
ears?
in a dirty environment. You wear your scuffed up boots. You don't take them with you.
So he's got a clean battle dress uniform.
Everything.
United States military.
He was just staying out of place.
Very out of place when I finally do it. But anyway, I step out onto the roadway. Guy screams that he's got no ears. And I just thinking it's really rude. And then I close the door and I look up and he's got no freaking ears.
Oh,
Eyes
wow.
are twice as big. And I just am like, yeah.
Wow. Imagine a dude that's like completely gray and then he has no ears. See if Google can actually figure out some kind of images that have no ears. All right, so I actually Googled this stuff, and some of the images that I could find with albino, with blue eyes and no ears this is the closest we could get. And a lot of different aliens. Just imagine that you're seeing Avatar from James Cameron, right? That's the closest explanation that I could give as of now.
This guy's not from around
How
here.
far away from him are you?
Probably from me to
Just a few
Logan.
feet.
Yeah, just talking distance.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And I'm starting to freak out, but then he starts to talk to me, and it's not my language, but it's coming.
What do you mean it's not your language?
Understanding is like coming into my mind about every word he's saying, because
So he's actually saying words.
So it's basically talking in a telepathic way. Is that what you're saying? Because in the recent reveal that we've already seen with some of the whistleblowers, they also said that the guy kind of had some sort of a connection with the alien when he kind of lifted off those egg UFO, and he felt some sort of a connection with the alien species, and he referred to them as not aliens, but more like angels and demons. And that's what he said. And if you compare that with the biblical knowledge that we have, obviously it makes sense that these guys could be the fallen angels, or maybe the sons and daughters of the fallen angels, who are also known as the Nephilims. But then I guess God kind of destroyed all of these Nephilims, right? But it seems like some might have actually survived, and they might have some sort of a colonization going on somewhere in the Antarctica.
he's saying words, but it doesn't sound like anything I've heard before.
But you're understanding what he's saying.
But I'm understanding. So I know there's a telepathic thing going on here.
Wow.
And it calms me down at the same time, because I'm having to respond to him. And he's like, hello, I'm having trouble with my craft.
Is that even possible? Guys, if you have read Bible and whatever, I mean, I haven't completed my Bible fully, so obviously I'm not really very well aware of this stuff. Can fallen angels or the Nephilims or whatever those things are, can they actually have like real crafts or spaceships and stuff like that? If that's possible, I think this could definitely be what these guys call as the fallen
Need
angels.
some repair material. Do you know where I could find some tritium? And this is what he's talking to me about. And I'm
Trinity?
like, you mean titanium? Because I didn't know anything about tritium at the time.
What is Trinity? Is he actually talking about the Trinity from the Bible, which is like Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit? Is that what he's talking?
Titanium? He's like, no, it's not it. And I'm like, well, at this point in my career, I had just left the program. So I knew where Dreamland was. And I pointed to the mountain range, because you can see for days in the desert. But I pointed towards the mountain range and I said, Dreamland's just over there.
What do you mean Dreamland? What's this Dreamland? Honestly, I want to know more about this stuff, man. And guess what, guys? Jason Sands also shared some more information about the UFO programs that he worked on. And it seems like he says that they don't want us to talk about the reptilians at all. For whatever reason that is, because reptilians might be living amongst us and we never know that stuff at all. And Jason Sands also says that he learned working in the UFO program that reptilian aliens are real. And Greys and Nordics were also confirmed while in the program. So apparently it seems like there are different types of races when it comes to like the aliens. Just like us humans, like we have whites, and then we have blacks, and then we have Asians, Indians, and all that, different kinds of races. So apparently it seems like there are different types of aliens as well, or maybe they could be the fallen angels according to the Bibles. So apparently these fallen angels, they have multiple different race. And as far as all the reports that we've received so far, it seems like they're gray in color, and some are Nordics. And apparently the Nordic aliens are like the ancient people. Some might like to call this as the Anunnakis and all that stuff. So that's probably what he's referring to as the Nordic. That most of them, as far as what I've known, that have spoken about this whole program thing, and they've revealed these, they always say that the reptilians are the most dangerous, and they're like the most volatile alien species that they've ever met, and they are actually scared of these species. I don't know why that is, but we'll actually see what he has to say here.
The third type that got mentioned on mission was reptilians. But every time that they were mentioned, it was really quickly hushed up by whoever else was on the other end of the line. Shut up, don't say that.
Why?
Is what they were doing.
Why?
They don't want to talk about the reptilian presence at all. They would talk about the tall whites and the grays being in the lab environments.
So does that mean like the Greys and Nordics are like much more friendlier? I hope they're friendly, man. But reptilians, it seems like they're the bad guys. They're the guys that we need to fight when the spaceship arrives, guys. So just get ready.
Not a lot, but some. But these reptilians, it was like nobody wanted to talk about it.
Was there any sort of an explanation? Did anybody give you of why they don't want to talk about it?
No, the only time I got any
come on, man.
When I, was out of the program and other people started to talk to me about all the different, things. And they're like, well, how many races are there? I don't know. But some people talked about the reptilians. They're like, do you realize that these are evil? And I had to listen to that.
Wait, what? The reptilians are like evil? Can they like shapeshift? Is that why they're like scared of these guys? Is Mark Zuckerberg one of them? I don't know. A lot of people have been saying that he is.
And the thing is, we don't know if it's because of their appearance. You would assume something that's reptilian is maybe a demon or whatever, and a Nordic, where the blonde hair, blue eyed, is considered like an angel, or is it that's just our perception? But that's what you hear.
Well,
hold on. So does this mean the other species that they have, like the Greys in Nordic, does that mean like those are like the good angels, like the angels that are not fallen, and then the reptilians are like the fallen angels? And maybe, they might have just named it differently with the help of the science and all that stuff. So how the Bible says that the fallen angels, they kind of just exited this fire wall that was like protecting the walls of heaven. So these fallen angels had to travel through this fire, and that basically just made them look more demonic. So does this mean that their skin is probably like burnt up and all that stuff, so it just makes them look more like a reptilian species? Because obviously, right, if you look at some of the demons and all that stuff, they usually look like some sort of a beast. They sort of look like some sort of a monster and stuff like that. And I think this is probably what they refer to as the reptilians, and they are way more powerful. Damn. And that is probably what he's referring to here as well as the demonic species.
Every reptile here is evil. Right? You ever seen a Komodo dragon eat a goat? It's horrific.
Yeah.
They're monsters. Every
whole.
single reptile is a monster.
And then we have crocodiles, alligators, and then we have Komodo dragons, and then we have so many things, right? They are always weird-looking creatures. They're always the scary, weird-looking creatures. And like Joe says, they're actually very
There's
demonic
not one
creatures.
cuddly reptile you can hang out with, cuddles with you. He brings you your newspaper in the morning. Oh.
I thought that was funny because the lady was like, my
Why
snake
would he want
sleeps with me
reptiles to
every
get-
night, and the guy says,
Why would you want reptiles to get newspapers, man?
no, it's laying next to you because it's sizing you up for eventually a chance when
Yeah.
it's going to eat you. I'm like,
Exactly,
"Well,
exactly. I've heard that story, right? Like if you're sleeping with like an anaconda or like a snake, and you probably think like, they're friendly. Just know this, that according to some of the studies, it seems like, the reason why the anaconda is not eating you or like hunting you as of now is because they're sizing you up and they're just seeing if you are going to fit into their belly. So they're just going to take their time before they can eat you up fully. That's like one of the most crazy stories that I've
You
heard.
have a monster that you feed. As long as you keep feeding, it won't eat you. Yeah. Like pythons or pests.
Well, to give it some credibility, I did do some research after that person talked to me.
What
'Cause
research?
I did see that there is a reptilian race that is very malign like that. And
really?
They even have, according to what I read, this one race has a penchant for blood for some reason. It's like a shark frenzy with them.
What?
Like a real reptile.
It's a euphoric experience for them. Yeah, a reptilian race that does that.
It just makes you wonder.
So does that mean like some of these reptilians are like bloodthirsty? Like vampires, you mean? I don't know. I mean, if they are actually vampires, maybe that's probably why Hollywood kind of depicts these vampires. I don't know where these guys even got these ideas about like vampires, werewolves, and reptilians and all that stuff. Maybe it is actually real and the elites already know about that stuff, but we don't. That could be the truth. We never know, guys. But honestly, guys, it seems like we're going to be getting much more update from the official government people, and they're most probably just going to go ahead and announce the Project Blue Beam, and they're going to do it in the form of how the Bible says everything is going to get destroyed, and they're just going to hoax this whole alien invasion project where everything is going to look very real, and they're going to be using these technologies that they're currently just testing out in the sky. So that's probably what it is all about, and most probably very soon there might be an attack and people might go missing. We never know if that is like the rapture, or this could most probably be the Project Blue Beam, because some Christians, they actually say that the rapture takes place before the second coming of Christ, and then some people say that the rapture is something that happens after the destruction of the world, and that's basically what the Bible states and all that stuff, but I'm not really sure which one is the right way. I would honestly love to know if you guys know more about Bible and biblical knowledge. Please share them in the comments down below. It's definitely going to be helping a lot of people out. But I would honestly suggest every single one of you guys, there is some very bad stuff that's coming up in 2025. And the best thing that we can do as of now is get good with God, man. That's the only thing we can do as of now. Because a lot of things that are currently happening, including some of the Bible prophecy that's coming true, like Euphrates River drying up and then Israel going to war. And then we also have deserts that are turning into snow places. And we also have water that's coming out of pure dry land deserts. And Jesus even said that the signs that we're going to be seeing when he's going to be returning is that he's going to turn desert into forest, and that's exactly what happened in Saudi Arabia as well. So these kind of stuff, it's very interesting. And even if you are someone that really doesn't believe in God, I would strongly recommend you guys to go ahead and take a look at some of the prophecies that have come true that are written in the Bible, and you'll definitely know that it's exactly 100% same to same. Everything is happening. So honestly, I would love it if you guys could just go ahead, share some of the word of God in the comments down below. And if you guys want to see more content like these, make sure to go ahead, subscribe, turn the notifications on so you guys can stay updated with my daily uploads on this channel. And with that being said, if you guys did go on and enjoy this video, smack that big fat like. It really helps a lot for the channel. And until then, I will see you guys on the next one. Take it easy, fams, and peace out.